It's been a couple weeks since I uploaded the first PinePhone video, and I've been busy since then. You guys aren't here for me, you're here for the PinePhone, so I figured we should just get kind of straight into it. Today I just want to talk about kind of what I've been up to with the PinePhones since the first video. Around that time I had set up the arch alarm on my 2 gig PinePhone, and then I got the 3 gig one working, got Void working on it, had some fun with that, but honestly the Void journey ended kind of poorly. I mean, it's definitely my fault. I lack kind of the proper understanding of the kind of packaging process, and I think Void specifically, I don't fully understand it. And I was just running into issues. Gradual degradation led to just very unstable images, crashing, eventually just failed boots. So I was kind of at a crossroads. I kind of put the PinePhones down for a little bit because there wasn't much else I wanted to do with the 2 gig one, and the 3 gig one was kind of in stasis. Every time I thought about setting up a new image and putting a new keyboard map on there, I was, well, not excited. So, kind of sat for a while, and then, well, as I said in my last video, I graduated. And I'm free from class until January 8th, and I've been spending a lot of time at my desk. And so finally I decided probably a good way to motivate myself to do something with the 3 gig PinePhone is finally replace the screen. I've had the replacement screen, I just haven't felt motivated to do it. And Pine64 actually has an official video on how to do this. It's really straightforward. I mean, like, so straightforward. The video itself is about 15 minutes. I'll probably have it either in front of me or behind me just a little bit for a second here. And there's just really nice calm music, and he walks you through everything. Now, the thing that almost really scared me was they do recommend all you need is pry tools and a heat gun. I didn't use a heat gun. I trusted that the adhesive on these devices was old enough that I could just pull them apart, and truthfully I think it worked out. I have no issues with any of the performance. It's actually running here in the background right now, and it's all been very good. So PinePhone experience has been pretty cool for the last couple days, and I'm excited to kind of talk to you guys about what I have going on. I guess I'll just grab the device real quick. I'll have more B-roll going, but I guess I'll just kind of show it to you. So I don't have 2 keyboard cases, but I do now have a Bluetooth case with a power bank velcroed to the back of it, and a PinePhone velcroed to the little back plate here. And honestly, it's a pretty fun little setup. This keyboard is, in some ways, it's nicer than the PinePhone keyboard. In some ways, I mean, honestly, just the size of it, it's more comfortable to type on. It's still a weird layout, but it doesn't suffer from the main drawback of the PinePhone keyboard, which is it doesn't need a custom keyboard map. It just works. You have to use function for a lot of things, like space is bound to escape when pressed with the function key. I don't know, I'm not familiar with a whole bunch of keyboard layouts. That could be some standard I don't know of. But generally, it took some adjusting, but it's pretty good. And the power bank on the back is really, ideally, hopefully, just until I kind of get a better system going here. But realistically, it's just kind of good to have. I don't know what the true answer is to better battery life on the PinePhone. The keyboard case gives you this illusion that the battery is much better than it really is, because you really do get 2 or 3 times a normal charge. And because the keyboard case is always kind of trickling the phone battery, you're just kind of always going. And I mean, realistically, I don't know, it doesn't really bother me to use this device plugged in, but the power bank kind of gives me that same setup that the keyboard case does. There's a bit of redundancy here. Using the Bluetooth all the time, especially with the Wi-Fi all the time, is going to drain battery. Temporarily, I've turned the modem off. I'm not going to use this as like a phone. I don't have a SIM card in it, so that was just drawing battery and delaying my boot and shutdown. So the modem's turned off, but that's just simple. I mean, it's just a service. I can turn it back on if I ever want it. And I guess that's kind of the same thought process for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This one is not set up as rigidly as the other one. I guess that's kind of a highlight of this build. That's how we kind of segue into one of the main differences here. I did build this one on Arch, It's the same release as the 2 gig PinePhone. It's the latest Dan alarm build. I'm just going to call them Dan builds from now on, so that's just the Dan build, maintainer of the PinePhone specific alarm arch builds. And so I installed the barebones image, which is really nice, really small, gets you going. Got into the TTY and connected over SSH to my desktop. I set up the PinePhone keyboard profile so that way I could use the PinePhone keyboard while I was kind of configuring things, but honestly I did most of it over SSH. There was just a couple like initial driver hurdles. I had some like weird stuff getting this Bluetooth keyboard connected, but that's kind of neither here nor there. That's just kind of random stuff you expect. It's a keyboard from Amazon and it's a PinePhone, so I mean, it makes sense. It wasn't anything harder than just doing a little bit of searching and installing stuff from the AUR, so all is good. Ultimately, I ended up going for Sxmo on top of Arch this time. I really like, with the PinePhone keyboard case, I really like it just being like a little terminal. I'm not going to rotate it. I'm not going to hold the keyboard case like that. But with this thing, that's why I did the Velcro, was because I can stick it on there if I want to use it like a little mini laptop. But otherwise, I'm using this thing like a phone. And that's been really cool. It's kind of motivated some different use cases for the device. One of the things that I set up today actually was like this kind of like e-reader, like manga reader pipeline. So I have like a command line utility for downloading PDFs, and then I have a PDF reader going. And honestly, like it's really kind of pleasant on the device. Like I think if I were to like kind of switch between modes where I'm like basically airplane and not airplane, I think I'd get a lot more battery life out of the device. And so realistically, I can download media and then go offline and use it in that way. I'm also kind of curious, the Megapixels app is broken on the latest build of Arch Alarm, and so I was looking into some alternatives. I haven't built them yet, but I'm looking forward to getting camera functionality working too. I also want to look into music players. I built I forget which one it is for the device, and I didn't end up testing it because I don't own a lot of my music these days, but that's, again, not really the point of this video. Definitely highlights some of the, interesting use cases that you get out of the like mobile kind of environment. I've really enjoyed Sxmo. It's really cool. I went for this one instead of something like Phosh. It's really light. I mean, it's literally just like a native window manager with a bunch of little scripts and bindings to make it, do its thing. And it's really nice. I haven't really gotten to configuring the menus yet, but I have gotten used to kind of navigating them. I tweaked some settings and things like that. I had to go through this whole thing where I SSH'd into it and then activated the scripts over SSH, because if you try to call them on the device, they weren't actually throwing the errors. You could only catch them from a remote terminal. And so I found a bunch of like weird dangling things, dependencies that were broken for a lot of the like Sxmo kind of entire setup, because I used a Codeberg project to kind of just get the whole thing going. And it mostly worked, but not fully. It's older. I don't think it's like actively maintained, but it got me like started. I was able to kind of hit the ground running. I still don't have like a wallpaper set up or anything like that. I did mess around with I think it's Conquer is what it uses to render. There's like date, time information on the background. I customized that a bit, and I had the like default Sxmo wallpaper rendering at some point, and then it stopped, and I just decided I didn't really care. Just the way that I use this thing, it's not really about the eye candy. I mean, I do like my customizations, I do like my racing, but that's really not what this device is about. I think as soon as you start getting like too excited with it, you can kind of overkill. Like the i3 X11 setup on the 2 gig one, surprisingly light. It doesn't really bog down. This one, there's a lot happening. I have a lot of optimization to do, but when it is happy and it is working, I'm really enjoying it. I've done some other stuff with it too, kind of the same stuff I was doing with the other one. It's got stuff like Copy Party and ngrok on there. That's just kind of useful stuff if I ever need to, use it as a little file server, or I can use it as like a reverse tunnel. That's kind of cool. I actually also hosted a PaperMC Minecraft server from it. I watched a video the other day. A guy did it on a like budget Android phone, and I was like, man, that thing definitely has more RAM than my PinePhone, but I wonder how that would go. And it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was like kind of playable, but you know, you're extremely limited on, you know, render distance, chunk size. The tick rate seems very, very low. You can watch things just kind of, you know, chug along. And so it was kind of funny. But again, just kind of cool. I love the idea of being able to just kind of rapidly deploy stuff on this thing. It's definitely a highlight of the use case. But some of the more practical stuff, you know, the actual like phone utility has been fun to kind of chase on it too. I think if I can kind of reel the battery life in, it's going to be really interesting. And especially since this one has the 3 gigs of RAM, even in this environment, I'm like using, you know, somewhere between 250 and 350 megabytes of RAM. And, you know, it goes up when I open a browser, you know, it goes over half a gig, but we're never like reaching any kind of critical mass. I'm never really tapping into swap. I haven't set up Zram yet. I haven't decided if I think it's a good idea or not. I've been reading about it because I don't fully understand Zram, to be honest with you. I understand that you reserve, you know, a certain block size and that becomes compressed, sort of. And so, you know, you effectively increase your RAM size by compressing a portion of, you know, the stuff in memory. But based on that explanation, you can see I don't understand enough yet to actually do that. So I'm waiting on that. I don't know if the performance gains are like really going to be there. If you know anything about Zram and you can help me out, let me know in the comments below. That'd be very cool. I'd appreciate you very much. Especially if you have any PinePhone knowledge and you've set up Zram on it before, that would be very cool. I have really appreciated getting to kind of connect with some of the other PinePhone users on the internet through these videos. It's been very cool. You know, I've gotten some different opinions on distros and setups, and that's been neat. I've never actually once met another human being that's interested in these devices. It's always like, oh, is that a PinePhone? Yeah, I know what that is. And then the conversation's just kind of over. And yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not that cool, but it's fun. I like it. You gotta see the vision. But no, I mean, I think that kind of just about covers everything that I've done with this device. I've really been enjoying it, and I'm excited to have both these devices, you know, fully repaired, fully functional. I think once I get the battery life kind of dialed in on this one, maybe configure some custom shortcuts in the menus for things like airplane mode, maybe swap between different kind of like configurations. I think it'll be very cool, and I look forward to maybe, you know, eventually doing another kind of check-in update on the status of the PinePhone. But thanks again for, you know, taking some time out of your afternoon or whatever time of day it may be that you're watching this video to kind of hang out and talk about PinePhones. If there's anything you want me to try or check out, let me know. I don't, you know, feel wed to having Arch on both of these. I'm very willing to kind of play around and experiment with different setups. You know, PinePhone is more of a scarce resource than, you know, I once thought it was. So if there's anything you want to see, anything you're on the fence about trying, I will try it for you. Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, or if you're a fan of the PinePhone, and if you're new to the channel, maybe consider dropping a sub. I stream game dev, and I do videos like this talking about PinePhones and just kind of Linux content and game dev stuff in general. But yeah, with all that out of the way, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.